Hello friends, welcome to the day 16th of Selenium WebDriver beginner series. So as part of today's session, we are going to learn about how to run JavaScripts in Selenium. So before jumping into the content, let us recap what we have done so far. So I started this series with from scratch, like how do we download and install Java and Eclipse, how to set your Java home path, how to create your first Selenium script in Eclipse, and also prior to that I explained how to create a Maven project in Eclipse. Also we looked at interacting or launching various browsers using Selenium. Also I explained about interacting with UI. As part of it, I given a sessions on how to interact with text box, combo box, list box, selection box, and managing the web browser settings like minimize, maximize, full time, full screen. Also, we looked at various browser commands like back, refresh, and so on. So this is the in this session we will look at how to run the JavaScript. So before running the JavaScripts, it's important to know why we need to run JavaScript. So in certain cases, we need to highlight some web elements, or in some cases, you need to scroll down to a particular web element, or you need to scroll down to a page, or sometimes there are few controls may not work with normal click events or type events, means click method or send keys method. In such cases, we can explicitly we can use JavaScript to achieve those kind of actions. So let us see what kind of actions we can achieve. So there could be many, but we will see the important actions which we can do with the JavaScript. So let's get started. And this is in this session content, how to create a JavaScript executor object, and how to click on a web element, how to type value in web element, how to scroll a web page using JavaScript, how to highlight web element, how to get browser title, how to get current system date, and example scenario. So let's get into the each topic. So the first topic, creating JavaScript executor object. So as you know, if you wanted to work with any new class, any new method, so it is very important to know how to create an object. So similarly, let us look at how to create a object in for JavaScript executor. So to access any method, it is required to import the class. So this is the class we are importing to access the JavaScript executor class. So this is what import r.openqa.selenium.javascript executor object. So this is the first step. And the step two, we need to initialize a JavaScript executor object. So this is a class JavaScript executor, and this is the object name. You can write JS or a JavaScript executor or X or Y or whatever. So, but it should be meaningful to the class which we are importing, and you need to write this, and you need to convert. You need to use driver object. This is called as a typecasting, so that the WebDriver can have a capabilities of executing JavaScript. Okay, so just type this, and if you do control space, this import statement gets added automatically to your test script. So to run, we have a js.execute script method. So this method will take two param arguments. One is the script, means what kind of JavaScript we need to run, and args means what are the arguments for this particular script. So most of the cases we don't be using it. This is an optional argument to the script. So we will be only passing a scripts to run using this execute script method. So this is about execute script. Okay. So let's have an example over here. Go over here, click new package. So I hope this is a day underscore 17, I guess. 16. Yep, it's a 16. So I created a new package and create a new class, example or execute JavaScript. Select this. So that main method added. You got the main method, right? So remove this code. Now you can copy the launch browser code. Okay, select this control I to get the code is in proper indent. Import this. Right click and import. So you got the import. So now type JavaScript, see control space, you will get this command. Just select it. So then on top you will see the JavaScript executor import class generated automatically. You can write JS equals to JavaScript executor, and you can write driver. So this is called as a casting, so that the driver can get all the capabilities of JavaScript executor. So this is about how to create a initialize or object of your JavaScript executor. So now JS dot object dot, you will see the methods. So execute async script, execute script. So mostly we will be running execute script we will be using. Okay, so look at the syntax, execute script, and you will be passing the script which we wanted to run on the browser. Okay, your JavaScript code goes over here. And args are optional. You can just remove that if you don't want to use. Okay, so this is about creating your JS JavaScript executor object. Okay, so let's move on to the next. So how to click on a web element? So as I said, we can achieve certain actions using JavaScript. So in general, we will be using driver dot find element by dot your object locator. If it is ID, by dot ID and your ID of the object, and dot click. So but there is an alternate which we can use in JavaScript executor. So that alternate we will look at right now. And this is a syntax. So this is a object which we created, and script dot execute script, and your script will goes over here. So we need to see what script we need to use to click on a web element. So here, this is the same code. This is the first one which I created an object. We have just seen this example, and js.execute script, and focus more over here. This is a JavaScript which can be used to click on any web element. So what we are telling, so we are telling the WebDriver to execute this script, and this script is what? Document means browser. In the browser, get element by ID button underscore 2. So get the element whatever matching to this particular ID, means it will go through the browser and check for all the objects and look for if there any object ID is matching to this. So then on this particular object, it will fire dot click event. So that way it will achieve your click actions. Okay, so this is the ID of the element. Hope you are following me, right? Let's have a look at it. Now we will write a code to click on a web element using a JavaScript. Now right click, inspect, and see what is the property. Now for the JavaScript, this is entire called as a this is called as a document. Okay, so in this document we are looking at id2 property, right? This is the id2 button, id equal to button 2. Okay, so now we are writing the JavaScript over here. document dot get element. Make sure you follow proper case id case, like should be in b should be capital, e should be capital, by, and what is the property id which we are looking at, and we are passing that id in single quotes. Okay, so what is the id which we are looking at? So we are trying to click on a object. Dot click means we are clicking, right? So and we need to copy the id of your desired element which we are looking to click. So button 2. Okay, so now WebDriver will search through entire document, means entire browser, and look for a object with button id button 2. Then it will fire event click. It should click on that particular OK button. Okay guys, so let me put a breakpoint. Right click, toggle breakpoint, or control shift B, and right click, debug as Java application. Now you will see the browser being loaded. Chrome driver has started successfully. Now you see the JavaScript executor. The object is created. Now right click and inspect. So before that, check this is a okay. So once you click on that, you will see some message down there. Right click and inspect. Nothing thrown, no except see. Oh my god, you clicked me, because the script itself is clicked on that and it was popped up that message. So this is about uh, dot click event which we can fire using dot execute script in WebDriver. Okay, so let's move on to the next type value. So to type a value, in general, we use a dot send keys method. The full syntax is driver dot find element by dot your locator, by dot name, by dot id, or whatever, dot send keys, and in double quotes you will be passing what value you wanted to type. So but there is an alternate which we can achieve through using JavaScript executor. So, but why do we need alternative? Sometimes, we cannot say exact case. Sometimes even the dots and keys may not work on certain objects. So in such cases, you can work through your JavaScript executor to inject your specific value to type on a particular web element. So the code is similar code. This is the same like creating an object and same execute script method. And now document dot get element by dot id dot up to this is same. So but earlier we identified by id dot something and we use dot click event, but now we will be using dot value event. So means this particular JavaScript will look for your browser and get this element matching with the IDF name and set the value of this element as a first name. So whatever you type over here. So this is the way how the type works in uh, JavaScript executor. Okay, so let's see. This is our about your ID of your web element, and this is about value to be entered. So let's see one example. So similar JavaScript executor we have the similar way. Okay, this is for clicking, right? So similarly we will do for a type value. Okay, enter value in text box using JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript executor object is on top, is ready, and execute script. And now mention what you wanted to see. You wanted to type value, right? So copy the same, or you can write the code document dot get element by id. Okay, so now you need to know your object id, right? So dot value is a, like, event, and this is the value you need to type. Okay, so you can put your value what you wanted to type, dot click labs or whatever. Okay, so now where you wanted to type this value, so that object id you need to pass. So to know the object id, right click, inspect. Okay, so what is the id? F name. So you'll be copying F name and putting that value over there. Okay, so this is about, and look at this. This is same as, this is same as, if you remember, like, uh, uh, so if you remember, like, driver dot find element by dot. Okay, so by dot id. Okay, f name dot send keys and dot click. So both are same, but this is achieving through the JavaScript, and that was the default method of your WebDriver. So as you know, right, the WebDriver is completely implemented in JavaScript. So if you look at the send keys event or send keys code, you will see the same thing uh, in that implementation. So this is about this typing the value in Java, type the value using the JavaScript executor. So hope you got me right. So let's execute this code and we'll see what will happen. Okay, so this will type first name in first name as a dot click in first name, which element which is matching id as a f name. Right click, debug as JavaScript executor, sorry, debug as a Java application. Now we are running in a debug mode, so your script will come and pause at your breakpoint. Okay, so now look at your application. Where is your first name? This is already done, right? Dot click event find, but we are looking at type. Okay, so this here, once after you execute it, you will see the dot click. Oops, let me select this properly. Select this line, right click and inspect. So null means no exception. You see dot click has been typed successfully into first name using JavaScript dot execute script. Hope you got me right. So this is about the type value. And now another important topic is scroll to a web page. So scrolling is necessary sometimes, if your web page is too lengthy and the element which you wanted to interact with WebDriver is on top down of your, means bottom of your web page. So then you need to scroll to that element to make sure that WebDriver is able to view that and do some actions on it. So in such cases you can use this scroll method. So simple, the similar way, we'll be creating JavaScript executor object dot execute script, but only the thing is that we are passing a this code windows dot scroll by, and these are the coordinate x or y where you wanted to scroll. So based upon your requirement, you can adjust these values so that you can scroll to your desired to the specific element. Okay, so let's see one example right now. So my session is still active. Look at this. This is active in me. Okay. So scroll web page. Now JS dot execute script. Okay. So have you remember what is the script we written? Windows dot scroll by. This is also some of the Java methods. These are all 100 comma 10. Okay. So these are kind of XY axis on your browser. You can give zero command, whatever, like, so you need to check, like, if you give like thousands or something, you may get some maybe some exceptions, but and you can hit and try and you see which coordinates work for your need. Okay, and JS is that's a JavaScript object. Now right click, inspect. I'm sorry, where is our web page? This is my web page. Okay, so let me scroll up and we'll check. Now check this command. Right click. Okay, okay, so while beginning it was on top. Now you see the mouse pointer like it's automatically scrolled. Now it was dot click automation web script. It was appeared earlier, right? Now it was scrolled down. So this is about how the scroll works. And now highlight web element. So this is one of the best feature, right? Like when we are running in a batch execution mode, if you wanted to check whether the code which you have written is correctly identifying the expected element, so then we can put some highlight code before you interact with that web element. Let us assume that I wanted to type into first name text box, but before that I wanted to highlight it by the tool and then type it, just to make sure that we are interacting with the right objects. And this is sometimes helpful if you are sharing the result with the client. So if you see if something failed, and if it is enter some values, it would be better if we highlight those elements before we actually put some values or before we click on that. So this is one of the best feature which we can use. Okay, and the syntax is similar, like create JavaScript executor object, use dot execute script, and the script and arguments. So now the thing is that you need to focus more on this particular example. Okay, so you see now comparatively earlier we never used arguments, but this particular execute scripts took one argument. So what is the argument is about web element. So this particular code, what it does means it will whatever you give, right? So this element on this element, it will change the style object as a 3 pixel solid yellow. Means so this web element is bordered by using the these commands. 3 pixel means how much width, means like pixel means like how much depth you want it. 1 pixel means like this. If you give 2 means it would be little bit like this. 3 means like it's solid line. Okay, so like this you can mention your highlight options. And yellow means the color of your highlighting. Okay, so if you give yellow means the web object which you are trying to interact will be highlighted by yellow color like this. If you give red means like this. So this is about how you can highlight your web element. Let's see one example. Highlight of web element. Driver dot sorry js dot execute script. Now you need to write that code. Argument 0 dot style dot border. This is the one, and the argument is where you wanted to highlight on a particular web element. So you need to type, you need to pass web element argument. Okay, so to pass it first you need to define web element. So how to define? So driver dot, you can define some variable element equals to driver dot find element. Okay, so by dot, what is the id you wanted to pass? You need to pass where you wanted to highlight. Let us take this element. Okay, inspect it, take the element property. What is the property? id equal to f name. Copy it. Okay, pass over here dot, sorry, no dot, right? So and where you wanted to store this web element, right? Because the driver dot find element returns web element. Okay, I stored it, and we need to copy this to your WebDriver execute script method. Okay, this is an argument. So now select these two lines. Okay, inspect. So now the element which we, oops, some exception. Oh, Invalid unexpected token. Looks as I think something wrong with your our JavaScript. Let us check. Argument 0 dot style dot. I think it's good. Let us retry. Let me close all the browsers and now right click. Now let us put some breakpoint. Right click, debug as Java application. Okay, so this is launching your WebDriver. WebDriver launched. Oops, again. Oops, window.q is not a function. Somewhere it's wrong. Okay, somewhere I given wrong JavaScript. Let me look at it. Oh, it's not on that line. It's on top of this line. Oh, sorry, it was some typo. I think it should be window.scroll, right? Oh, okay. So it should be scroll by. That was, I think, wrongly typed. So let me comment it. Okay, so we need to know this, right? So I commented that code. Now let's see how it works. Now I hope it should work without any errors. Right click, debug as Java application. Okay, so nothing now. Okay, nothing highlighted. Now you see after executing this, you see that it was highlighted using the yellow color. If you say some XYZ like other color, red, so now do it, that is overridden by red color. Whatever you like, whatever your favorite color, you can use it. No, whatever client likes, you can use it. Dot click. Okay, so this is about how you can highlight, or even you can change the pixel. How pixel means 6 pixel means you see the some thick line added to the object, and this is the code which can decide what color and what pixel you wanted to highlight on particular web element. So now I'm trying the same on different web element. Okay, so this time you will, I'm looking at last name. Okay, so define your the write java js.execute script and copy the same thing that we used. Okay, copy this entire code, put over here. Okay guys, now, and arguments is web element, right? So either you can store in variable or you can write driver dot find element directly. You can use it by dot id. What is the id you used? Just paste over there. We are trying to highlight L name, right? Last name. So paste over here and use semicolon. Now select all the lines. This is nothing but the same way. Either you can store it in a web element or you can pass, or you can directly pass it to your method, the execute script method. Now it's null means see it is highlighted last name. This is how you can use the last name, how you can use highlight methods using JavaScript executor. Hope you got me right. So now get browser title. So get browser title is sometimes you need to verify what is the browser title at that particular step. So for that, actually in WebDriver we have driver dot get title. Similarly, we have another method in JavaScript executor is document dot title. So document dot title is nothing but it's a browser dot title, and return is a command. Let me change this. Return is a command. Okay, so this will return whatever you type over here. So as you said, document dot title return means after executing this will return whatever you mention over here. If I say return x 2 plus 3 means if you execute this particular script, this script will return you the 5. If you say 2 into 8, then this method will return you 16. If you say document title, then this will return you the title of your web browser, means the browser title. Okay, So and this will return you in a object. I converted it to a string. Okay, just to store. Okay, guys. So this is about the title. Let's see one quick example. The browser title is currently is home. Okay. So now we can do print document title js.execute script. Okay. So you can say return. We don't need arguments, I think. Let's see if it throws some error. Return. Okay, so let me, I think, yeah, it should be written document dot title only. RETURN written document means browser dot title means on top of it like tab title, document dot title. Okay, so if you wanted, you can store it in some variable and print it to console, or you can inspect it. It's up to you how you wanted to make it. This is returning object, right? So to store, you need to convert it to a string. Means to store in a string variable. String browser title equals to js.execute script, and to type sysout control space, nothing but system.out.println browser title is space, or you can directly print the title. Okay, so right click, inspect, you see home. So this is what the browser title, and we able to retrieve using the JavaScript executor. Okay, so as I said, this is similar to the driver.getTitle. Both does the same. So means the WebDriver Selenium or developer already used this kind of JavaScript code in behind. So, but we are explicitly running those JavaScript executor code using the WebDriver instance. So this is what the title, and the same if you do with the get title execute script, this is same. So this is how JavaScript executor can return your browser title. Okay, so this is one of the example to get the system date. Most of the time we don't use it, but yeah, just to show you how and what are the capabilities of JavaScript executor, I given this example. So this example will give you how we can get the current system date on your execution machine. Okay, so similar code, but instead of this this line, I given written whatever you wanted written new date. So date is a function in JavaScript that will give you the current system date in some GTM or some XYZ format. Okay, so let's see how it works. So get system date using JavaScript. You can even write the Java method like date time utilities kind of thing, but this is one of the way also you can use js dot execute script, execute script. So and you can write return return means to return, and what we wanted to return system date, and what is the function we have, new date is a JavaScript function that can return you the current system date. So it means whatever it was mentioning on your system. Okay, so to print it again, you need to store it in a variable called string today's date equals to this add customer string, means we need to convert, right? Whether you can do this or at the end you can say dot to string. This is one of the conversion method. Okay, I think you need to use semicolon, else it will kick you off. Sys out dot println today's date is, or date is plus today's date variable value. Okay, okay guys, so this is what you can write. Select the code, right click, inspect. Oops, you got date is 2020 November and 16th and some time zone. Okay, so this is how you can get the system date using JavaScript executor. So this is for your work. So navigate to this particular URL, highlight OK button, click on OK button using JavaScript, highlight first name, enter value first name text box using JavaScript, get and print the browser title, close the browser. So these are all the examples which I already explained during the session. So I think just if you wanted to memorize those things, it would be good to practice these actions. So if you want, I can put these in end of the video so that you guys can take a look at these steps and can practice on your own. So that's all about today's session. So just to summary, we have discussed about how to interact with JavaScript, how to execute JavaScript using Selenium WebDriver. So we depends upon the JavaScript executor object, and then dot execute script is a method which will take two arguments. So script which you wanted to run, and the argument is it's an optional thing. If you wish, you can pass. If that method requires, you can pass it. So we can achieve various things using JavaScript executor. One is to click on element, type into a web element, highlight web element, scroll to a particular web page, and to get certain browser titles. Even you can get the system's current state. So means whatever JavaScript functions we have, we can use all those in Selenium WebDriver using the JavaScript executor object. So that's the takeaway for this entire session. So I hope you learned something out of my session. And if you really learned something, just please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, you can put down in comment sections. I'm sure I can get back to you with appropriate answers. So thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned to get more videos on this automation area. Thank you.